happening there, or should?
And Davis Lubongoya for giving us, of course, the details about the current ongoing political affairs in the country. Away from that, I'm currently in Nebi, and basically we are going to dive into issues of the post-consecration of the new bishop of Nebi. However, before we dive into that, in Nebi, there's currently quarantine for animals following confirmation of outbreak of foot and mouth disease in this particular district. And as I speak, as a preventive measure, Ministry of Agriculture, together with the local government here, has imposed a quarantine to ensure that they prevent the further spread of this particular contagious disease. And yesterday when I was speaking, that is the district veterinary officer, he confirmed to me that yes, they have put quarantine for 3 months, and so far this is the 3rd week that people are not selling meat here in Nebi district, and also animals from other places are not allowed to be sold here. So this is on the side of course, consumption for those who are players within the industry. They have tried to raise a number of issues here. They're talking about their businesses which are now dropping, and also even the animals themselves. They're finding difficulty to transport them to some of the districts. Away from that, during the consecration of the new bishop of Nebi, that is Right Reverend Constantine Rupin, there were a number of issues which were raised on Saturday before the Vice President of Uganda, that is Jessica Lupo. Among them is the issue of the poor roads within Nebi district and within the diocese itself. Two, they were talking about the high cases of teenage pregnancies and early marriages in this particular district. Now, if I can quote, that is the newly consecrated bishop of this particular diocese. According to him, when you look at child stunting, it is at about 30%, and then maternal anemia is at around 36%. Meanwhile, infant mortality is between 15 to 34% out of every 1,000 live birth. To help us dive into this conversation better this morning, I'm delighted to be joined by the woman MP of this particular district, that is Honorable Achivo Grace. I want to understand, us being the woman MP, there were a number of issues which were raised, but above all, the high cases of teenage pregnancies in this particular region, and maybe being in particular for this case. Maybe us being legislators would wish to understand. Other regions are battling the same, but political leaders are coming up to come with mechanisms to see how they can be imposed on views on these cases. I want to understand in Nebi district, what is the case like and what are we speaking about here? Honorable, most welcome to Morning at NTV Show.
Thank you very much. The woman MP for Nebi district. First of all, we need to thank the Lord for the gift of life, and we need to thank the Lord for everything he has done for our diocese, especially having a new shepherd in the names of Reverend Rupin Constantine.
Maybe let's talk about current affairs in your area of operation or maybe representation. During the consecration of the bishop, both the outgoing and the incoming bishop raised passionate issues. One issue of education, quarrels, but above all, the increased cases of teenage pregnancy in your district, and we're seeing infant mortality standing between 15 to 30% out of every 1,000 live birth. Is this something to be excited about?
This is very strange. No one can be excited about such occurrences. But however, when we come to talk about the issue of early marriages and teenage pregnancies, I think this is something which is so pathetic in our region, especially in the Catholic Diocese or Greater Nebi at large. First of all, when we come to talk about the issue of teenage pregnancy, I think we need to track back and find out the causes of these teenage pregnancy and also early marriages in our society. First of all, I'm somebody who grew up in Nebi, schooled in Nebi, worked in Nebi, and married in Nebi.
So literally you're telling us you're a locally groomed daughter?
Locally groomed daughter and organic daughter who knows the problems of the area. First of all, one thing that we need not to run away, as we are growing, it was community responsibility of parenting children. Today, as we talk in our district, you cannot comment about somebody's child, meaning that the community is getting disintegrated. And besides that, what keeps children at school? At least it helps them to grow to a level, at least even if when they get married, at least. But right now, as we talk, many of our parents have left their responsibility of educating their children. Of course, we are aware that the government has come up with a policy of free education. But how free is this free education? There are certain things that parents are to play a role. Parents are to buy scholastic materials. They are to give or provide uniforms and many other things. And here, we are trying to see that most of our parents are just trying to retreat back. They don't want to contribute to the education of their children. Therefore, when the children are left at large, automatically you expect early marriages and also teenage pregnancies. But also, there's something that I've seen. The government and the society have really turned all their focus and strength towards the girl child and leaving the boy child. In fact, we are not addressing the problem. For me, as a mother, I would say, if ever we are handling these young ones, we must see the girl child and the boy child. Or if we had started from the boy child, they would have respect for the girl child. But now that we are focusing on the girl child, we have left this one who impregnates, who marries them. Eventually, we have reached where we have reached. And most of these occurrences in our district, we have these street kid children on the street. And most of these victims, they are children who are being parented by grandparents. People who don't have the strength, they don't have even the energy to teach the children. The children are just at large. They are there with them, they come and eat, they disappear, they move in the night, and eventually they are victims of what we are talking about.
Maybe, Honorable, as a locally groomed daughter who is now, by grace of God, a member of parliament, you seem to be enjoying comparative advantage compared to some of the legislators who didn't grow from here. Maybe, at your own capacity as being the woman MP, what are you doing to ensure that we reduce these high cases of teenage pregnancy within your area of representation?
Thank you very much. First of all, there are a lot of interventions that I try to do. One, when I'm in the constituency, wherever I am with the parents, because the first thing that we have to handle is the parent, so that they are responsible. And not only that, we need to I always tell the parents to focus and be tolerant to the girl child, because the girl child is so sensitive. The girl child is like an egg. And therefore, they should give a listening ear to the girl child. Whenever they come to us, they come to the parents. The parents must really bow down and understand the situation of the girl child. First of all, parenting a girl child is very, very complicated, very expensive. I'm a mother of 3 children, and therefore, we give special attention to the girl child. You must listen to their problems, and also you must explain yourself so that they understand the home where they are coming from. And therefore, this is one of the things I've been telling my dear colleague parents. They should be parents who listen to the complaints of the children, because they must take it upon themselves to explain the situation of the home. Because if they keep quiet, the children will not understand that there is a challenge in the home. And as we see, where we have reached, most of our parents leave their home in the morning, they are struggling to see that ends meet, and the children are left at large. They leave their home early, they go back late, meaning that there is a gap, a communication gap between the parents and the children. Many too, I've been a teacher. Most of the time I go to the schools, I talk to the children, I talk to the learners, I talk to our fellow colleague teachers, because already we have a crisis in the education system.
Okay, maybe as we wind up, our time is fast being spent. I need to let the room back to Priscilla in the studio. Somebody would want to understand, maybe in closing, what message do you have for the people of Nebi, looking at some of the various issues which were raised during the consecration of the new bishop of Nebi Diocese?
Thank you very much. The issues that we have raised by our Archbishop and the outgone bishop, then raised by the new bishop. First of all, these are issues that have been here. Religious leaders have raised them. Political leaders, we have done our part, and even at Parliament, even as a caucus of West Nile region, we have raised it. We have brought it even before the government chief whip, even before the president. I think as messengers, we have really done our part. I'm very happy that the VP was here. And it is not the first time these issues are being raised. But all in all, I want to say that for us to achieve, we must come as a team. The political team, the religious team, the cultural team, and our elders in the greater Nebi region, so that they see that we are serious about this.
I know our time is fast being spent. I wish you could continue with the conversation, but when I was in the corridors, people were asking. Recently, the NRA members of Parliament were called back at State House for a caucus, looking at the recent resolution by the Supreme Court. Of course, this is conversation for another day. Dear viewer, this has been the conversation in Nebi, pertaining some of the issues which were raised during the consecration of the new bishop of Nebi Diocese. But above all, there's currently quarantine here for animals, so if you are planning to bring your animal here, know that it will not be allowed. For the interest of time, allow me to let you back to my colleague, that is Priscilla Naroga, to close for us today's segment of Morning.
Now, as we get into the deep of Monday, you are reminded that Uganda Police will be releasing some briefings regarding some of the hot cases that came out of the weekend. For example, they will be giving us an update on the search at the National Unity Platform premises, to which the National Unity Platform legal team has committed that this week they will be taking the police and the army to the High Court for this intrusion. Then also, we will be hearing from them in regards to the investigation that is ongoing for the suspected case of suicide by hanging that occurred at Seta High School, Mukono, and that student being called Elishama Sesazi. May his soul rest in peace. But also be mindful that foot and mouth disease is not done and dusted. However, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries has got their hands on it. There is a vaccine in the works that should be able to mitigate the issue at hand. So be very vigilant and be very mindful. Otherwise, we also want to know what is happening in your community, within your locality, so you can share that with us with the hashtag NTV News across all our social media platforms. Our subsequent bulletins, NTV at 1 and NTV Akaongezi, as well as NTV Tonight, will be giving you newsworthy developments of the day, the 24th of February 2025. For us, morning at NTV, we close it here. Have a good day.